Hey, what's going on, guys? So for today's video, we have a dissection of the last film in Hugh Jackman's Wolverine career, Logan. I'm going to go through and give you insight into the deeper meaning and allegories contained within this film. Warning, there is spoilers ahead, so turn away now if you don't want the movie spoiled for you. So let's get started. So within this film, there's a concept that within X-Men comics that exist within this universe, there's some truth about the real stories of the X-Men. So I'm going to apply that same concept as to how I see this film, that there's actual truth relating to the real world contained within the plot points and ideas broadcasted within this film.
And not like this.
So the comics tell of this safe haven for young mutants known as Eden. And Logan just has to help X-23 or Laura get across the border, right, to get away from transgen. And X-23 is a Spanish-speaking girl from Mexico where they were testing on all of the young mutants. So you can kind of see how that relates to certain political narratives that are being played out right now on a subconscious or a literal level, but subconscious for the people who are just oblivious to what they watch within film.
In the real world, people die.
I'll get back to the plot line regarding immigration, all that, but first let's talk about the symbolic aesthetics that are presented throughout this movie. So the film clearly revolves around the concept of human or even mutant mortality. Both Professor X and Logan are facing their aging process. Professor X has Alzheimer's, Logan isn't healing as quickly. And really, overall, the movie is very morbid, gory, and disturbing in terms of highlighting the fragility of human biology. Very horrible and disturbing. In a way, justifying to the viewer why they're doing things like eugenics or dysgenics with all of the human testing that is contained within this film. And again, like I've been talking about in most of my recent videos, the use of the gold symbolism. The alchemical idea behind gold is the perfection of all matter, including the mind, spirit, and soul all living in harmony. The symbol for gold could also be used to represent the sun in astrology. And throughout this film, we have the gold symbolism coming in very heavily with one of the dudes who works for Transgen, right, who's working on testing human biology in order to evolve humanity to higher levels of perfection. And also we have the sun symbolism being used in ways to convey this same type of message. In this scene right here, we have the aesthetics of a dark, starry night, and then we have the brightest star, which could either be Sirius or the sun, the golden sun, illuminating its light down onto Logan and Charles, right? Because they are held with the responsibility of progressing the perfection of man through genetic mutation. In this scene right here, when Logan wakes up at a random doctor's office, he's looking up into 3 fish that are hanging above his head, and one of them is actually gold. So 1/3 is gold, 2/3 is not gold, right? So that's numerologically significant. And then this albino character who actually lives with Logan in the film, there's this concept of the light when Transgen is trying to get answers out of him. They're talking about beware of the light, and then they burn him with the light of the sun because his mutation, he's albino and it burns his skin. But this is playing with the concept of the light of Lucifer, right? Or the light of the golden sun, the light of alchemy. They're playing with those concepts. And in the film Split, if you saw that, one of James McAvoy's split personalities talks about, in the sun we will find our purpose. And he says that the beast, or the philosophy of the beast, is evolving humanity, right? Genetic mutation, genetic evolution. And he has 23 split personalities, right? And what is the main character in Logan's name? X-23 is her mutant name. So you can see how there is a cohesion, and it's not coincidence that these themes are popping up everywhere. And Laura, or X-23, when they go to Las Vegas, she gets this shirt with a unicorn on it and a rainbow. The unicorn is significant and keeps on showing up a bunch in occult Hollywood, but the rainbow is even more important because the rainbow bridge According to Thor, the bridge between science and magic. In Theosophy, it's the concept of the bridge between heaven and earth, and traversing the rainbow bridge, testing things on people in order to scientifically catalog how to evolve humanity through things like technology and genetic manipulation, through things like dysgenics and eugenics, right? In order to bring Eden, where are they trying to reach? They're trying to find Eden and bring Eden onto Earth, and X-23 is wearing the rainbow on her shirt. When they get a truck to drive to Eden, the license plate says MKS, so MKs, and that's when Laura is talking about all her friends that were also in this MK Ultra facility. MKs, MK Ultras, just like 11 from Stranger Things. So William Stryker's son, the dude from the original X-Men films who turned Wolverine into what he is through the adamantium, is the head of Transgen or Transigen. I'm not sure if I was pronouncing that correctly, but Transgen, whatever. In the film, they say he was responsible for nearly wiping out all the mutants, but he didn't want to completely wipe mutants out. He just wanted to control them. And what he says to Logan is he says that through the manipulation of the food supply, through the genetic manipulation of the population through the food supply, is how we are controlling the mutations of humanity. And then right after he says that, Logan just slaughters him. So it completely downplays what he just revealed to the theater that is watching this all obliviously, because they are unaware that the corn syrup drinks that they are sipping at that very moment is genetic mutation and dysgenics on the viewers that are watching it. Twilight Zone level shit. And even this black family that Logan and his crew befriend in the film, he is a farmer, and he specifically, as they're walking through a crop field, talk about how corn is being added to everything and how corn syrup is toxic. This is what's being said to the viewer as they are sipping a extra large corn syrup or aspartame drink. They literally tell you in the film, Revelation of the Method, that corn syrup is toxic and is being used to manipulate the population. Oh yeah, and when X-23 goes into the gas station to get some food, she grabs Pringles and a can of energy drink, similar to Monster Energy drink, right? Vav 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 666, Unleash the Beast. But this energy drink company in this film is actually called Hypno, right? As in like hypnotizing the population, hypnotizing the oblivious population who's unaware of who's driving the car, who's driving them around as they just consume whatever's put out for them. Twilight Zone. So they meet the black family by accidentally having a car accident on the freeway, and all of their horses gets scattered throughout the freeway. And then the darkest horse, the black horse, almost gets hit by a big truck. I believe this is symbolically supposed to invoke the Dark Horse or Horses of the Apocalypse, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse or something, like Katy Perry's Dark Horse. And then, of course, since Logan, X-23, and Charles befriend this black family, the entire family is completely slaughtered by Transgen when Hugh Jackman's clone or Logan's clone comes in and just slaughters the whole family. So that was nice. Okay, back to the whole Eden thing and all the group of the young mutants, the multicultural mutants with like maybe one white kid in the background. They're all, trying to escape to safety from Transgen to get across the border, and all of these white males, transhuman males with blonde hair and skull and crossbones on their neck are trying to stop them from getting across the border to safety. I mean, how can people not see the parallels to the political and social narrative that's being broadcasted through the reality television show known as politics right now? Like, it's all one thing. It's all just social engineering. Like, how stupid is everybody? All right, sorry, I go overboard, but seriously, like, it's just so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me to be aware of what I'm actually watching and to just look around the theater and people are just docile. Like, they just consume whatever's put in front of them. I know I'm a hypocrite because I'm a fan of all these films and I watch all these films, but at least I do it to see what's actually there. And even like the black kid in the crew of Eden, he's like overweight and obese, and he's running from Transigen and the transhumans, right? And it's like comical because he's overweight and he can't run very fast. And then like the black family is the one who talked about corn syrup altering humanity. You know, like obesity, childhood obesity didn't exist until the toxification and the industrialization of the food supply, right? So corn syrup, fat black kid, is that intentional? Is that just mockery of the population? And everybody's just, oh, it's so funny as they're sucking down aspartame and corn syrup in the theater. Oh yeah, and they're eating genetically modified popcorn, right? Corn. Children of the Corn. You want to know what's going on in America? Watch Children of the Corn. That's exactly what's going on in America. That's it. So if you feel kind of like this right now, like you just got punched in the face with knowledge, good, because that was the point. Because this is not speculation. I am telling you what these films are about. There's some room for subjective interpretation, but this is what these films are about. This is what is being played out in humanity. So prepare yourself because there's a tidal wave coming. You're in the middle of a tidal wave and technology is going to swallow us and most of the food supply is toxic. And that's what the movie told you. So prepare yourself. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below. Thank you very much and bye. Oh yeah, and one last thing, when Logan dies then, sorry, spoiler alert, X-23 or Laura is saying some things above his gravesite from this movie that she watched earlier in the film, and he has a gravestone or a headstone made out of sticks that are done in a cross, but as X-23 is leaving, right, she turns the cross and tilt it on its side so it becomes an X. So this is symbolic of transitioning from faith-based ideology, right, into Darwinian, Luciferian, genetic, eugenic manipulation of the population in order to build Eden themselves, to evolve humanity through technology and genetic manipulation. So that's what that scene represents. An X-23, 23 chromosomes, 2 by 3, 666, right? When she's doing that, when she takes the cross herself and tilts it on its side into an X, that's what that symbolizes. Okay?